going to tell you a little story. Yesterday I was walking around here and all of a sudden a guy with a James Burton laminate stops me and tells me that he works for James and that he loves my channel, watches my channel every day. Told me where to meet him after the show and that he would make sure I got some photos and got James to sign some of my records. So sure enough, that's what happened. I ended up with a James Burton hat, 2 signed records on top of the one I already got, and got to hang out with James for a little bit. Fun night. It could only happen here on Elvis week, I guess. Here we go, I'm having my breakfast lunch. Since they have peanut butter and banana sandwiches, I'm gonna have one. I don't really particularly like banana, but over the years I'm starting to accept it a little bit, so I wanna try it. So I heard they're doing some sort of guitar ceremony today. We'll find out about that. There's James Burton. He's wearing a TCB shirt. He's part of the TCB band.
I love to say, don't you say it too, play it, James. Play it, James Burton! James Burton, come on out here!
You're not selling guitars, are you?
No, I make a good deal on some guitars.
Music store here.
We're going to talk about those in just a minute. Tell me about being back out and with all of us Elvis fans. I know you and Louise had some downtime working on. You guys have not been busy. You've been more busy than ever. But what's it been like this week to just be back among all of us?
Well, it's so great to see all our great friends here. And down enough to get our friends back here. I'm excited. I had a great night last night, and it was great to hear Elvis singing on the big screen.
Yep.
Everything is fantastic. We're just continue doing, working our foundation, staying real busy. I have a new show coming out real soon. I did a show in Nashville a couple of years ago, and I had a lot of great artists. And you're gonna love it. It's we have a new sound called the Dolby Atmos sound, and 50 speakers, and oh, it's amazing. So it's looking like my show might be the very first show with that sound, and we're looking to release it as soon as we can. We had a couple of good artists. We had Brian May from Queen, and, Joe Walsh, and Sammy Hagar, and we. Steve Warner, we had 30 artists on the show. It's fantastic, and I don't want to give away everything, but you're gonna love it. It's a great show. So that's what we're working on.
And it was all in one night too. I mean, all these people came to Nashville for you when you called. That's what I think is good.
My show changed.
You've been such an inspiration to guitar players. You know, the Brad Paisley and Vince Gill, Keith Richards, all these guys. They love that James Burton sound. But talk to me a little bit about the guitar. Growing up in Louisiana, I don't even know that I've ever asked you, when did you first hold a guitar?
I was 13. Probably when I first picked up a guitar, I was probably 10, 11. But I knew that's what I wanted to do. I think it's a 52 model tele. And
so I
still play the guitar.
Yeah, from the beginning you were a Telecaster, like first out of the gate, that was your guitar, that kind of guitar.
Well, no, actually I had an acoustic guitar when I started.
Oh, okay.
And then I got an electric guitar. I forgot the name of it. Then I got my first real guitar, Fender Telecaster. And I had the pleasure to know the guy that actually built that guitar, Leo Fender. And he was like my godfather. He was a fantastic guy. And whatever I wanted, they gave me guitars from 55 up. And then I came out with my signature model, which is fantastic. And I probably have maybe 8 different models now, but I wanted to do something different with the Fender Telecaster. And I figured it's already a great guitar. So what I did, I added a third pickup. And with the 5-way switch, and I had a push button switch in the volume to give it a booster. And great sound, big fat sound, great guitar. Pink Paisley, I played with Elvis. And Fender called me and said, come down, you've got a guitar here, with your name on it. And I said, really? Okay, so I was anxious to get a guitar with my name on it. But when I went down, he said, there's a guitar. So I went over and opened the case and wow, jumped out at me. Pete Paisley, I said, well, maybe this would be good for Van Halen. I don't know about you. No, you got to take this guitar. So I took it with me to Vegas when we opened in 1969, Las Vegas at the, it was the International Hotel at that time. And I didn't play that guitar for the first 2 weeks. I played my original tele that Mother and Dad bought me. And Red West came up to me one night and he said, man, you gotta get this new guitar out and play it. And I said, I don't know, I'm kind of funny. I don't know, Elvis might not like that guitar. So anyway, I took it out. I said, I gotta go for it. I took it out and played it 2 shows that night. Nothing. Elvis didn't even say a word. And so after the second show, Red came down to my dressing room and said, James, Elvis wants to see you in the dressing room. I said, oh, okay, here we go. Anyway, I walked in his dressing room and he said, hey man, I noticed you're playing a different guitar tonight. And I said, yeah, I was a little nervous about it, Elvis. I was afraid you might say something like, why are you playing that funny looking guitar? Anyway, he loved it. He said, man, it sounds great and it looks great. He loved it. He said, play it all you want to, man.
There you
so
go.
That broke the mold.
There's just something right about seeing you in those film clips back in the day with that pink paisley. It all goes together. It's a part of you for one of the big anniversaries. And I said, how is it standing out there? Because he's got monitors down. He can see what's on the big screen. You can see it down here when he's playing. You can kind of watch Elvis, because he's still watching Elvis. And watching, and I said, what's it like to, and then occasionally in the background, you'll see James from back in the day. And I said, what's it like? He goes, man, I keep getting older and Elvis just still looks like a little Just being back and playing the music just must mean so much to you. Some of us may have gone to a movie theater before everything kind of fell apart, or you've seen the movie. How many of you have seen Ford versus Ferrari? Movie with Matt Damon and Christian Bale about the development of Ford going into racing. And I'm watching this movie, I'm sitting there and I'm eating my popcorn. I actually was in a theater because I think it was before everything. And I'm eating the popcorn, and I've got your solo record from back in the day in the 60s. And I hear James Burton. I hear Polk Salad Annie. The instrumental that he got an instrumental album with it was you and Mooney.
No, that was the album we did in Nashville.
That's okay.
71.
This was the first solo.
The James Burton album, yeah. And I had all the guys, David Briggs and Norman Putnam, all the guys playing on it. And so we cut that on that.
So that's been sitting there on that record for all those years, and suddenly now, did you get a phone call? Did Matt Damon call and say, hey, I want to use your, how do you find out getting your song?
I got to tell you, my good friend Albert Lee and his wife went to a movie, and they called, my wife answered the phone, and Albert and Karen Lee, they said, man, we went to the movie tonight, and James was playing all through this movie, Ford versus Ferrari. And Louis said, really? So then we got the movie, and yeah, it was Polk Salad Annie.
Oh yeah.
And my good friend Tony Joe White wrote that.
That's right. Do or die. You've got to win this race, James. With that race.
I did. You know, I had a good guy driving.
Yeah, that's right. You were going to win the movie.
Yeah.
You were going to win the race in the movie too.
But it was a great movie. I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
And there's another movie out. Godzilla Kong.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was watching this movie, not my favorite movie, but I heard this song, I said, Love in Arms. I was singing Love in Arms. I said, oh, okay, come on. I saw Tony Joe White at the Hilton. He came to see Elvis. And I was talking to Tony, and I said, what brings you all the way out here? And he said, well, first off, I want to see Elvis and you guys perform, and Elvis is going to sing my song tonight. post salad Annie. He was excited about that.
Wanted to hear Elvis sing the song.
King of rock and roll.
That's right, that's right. Well, your guitar, like we said, just such a part of you, but you have a foundation, and I wanted to just, this is such a cool mission that the James Burton Foundation has in Shreveport. It says dedicated to providing guitars and music instruction to children and young adults in schools, hospitals, and community service organizations for the purpose of developing future talent. Oh, see, you guys are going to be agents. You're looking for new talent. That's good. That's smart. It's a way to do it. Give them guitars.
We're starting up a new show called Supergroup. We got to have some new talent.
That's right. There you go. But these guitars, what does it mean to these young people? What do you want them to take away from receiving a guitar?
You know, I was really thrilled in 2005 when I was going to do my first show in my hometown, Shreveport, Louisiana, at the Municipal Auditorium. That's where Elvis performed. And actually, I played there before Elvis did. I was 14 years old, playing on the stage with Floyd Kramer, Jimmy Day, great steel guitar player, and I was standing behind George Jones.
Wow.
I didn't care who the singer was, I just wanted to play. But I gotta tell you, putting my show together, inviting all my friends to come perform, and I said, you know, I've got to do something. I want to do something. You know, there's a lot of, I mean, I could have went with cancer, I could have went with the heart thing and everything, but I said, you know, I want to do something for the kids. And that's when we started working with the school board, and I worked it out where we could get music back in schools, and they were excited about it because the government took, you know, they didn't have the funds to do the music program. But we put it together, the school board went nuts, the kids loved it. I got all these letters and emails from the kids thanking me for this program.
Yeah.
And then we just kept moving. We went to St. Jude's in Memphis, guitars for the little kids there. We went to Shriners, guitars for the kids, the veterans. I mean, we just want to continue.
Yeah.
And
that gift of a guitar can bring music into someone's life. They can find a guitar. The great thing about a guitar is you don't need another player with you. You can, by yourself, you can learn how to play the guitar, you can hold it, you can figure out what it is, just like little 10-year-old James Burton did all those years ago. Nobody taught you, you figured it out on your own.
oh, God was my teacher. He taught me how to play. He put me in that was so great about Elvis, you know, traveling with Elvis on all the tours and everything. I gotta tell you, he had his Bible with him, and it was so wonderful that every night he would read scriptures out of his Bible, and he would, once in a while, he would sit us down and say, hey, I want to tell you guys a few scriptures here, because, you know, and J.U. Sumner, Sam's all there. Everybody was loving it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Elvis would sing till noon the next day, and then he'd sleep 2 hours, then we get up and do 2 more shows.
That pink paisley guitar is somewhere right now, and we have a message from the gentleman that currently has that pink paisley. And the James Burton Foundation has been working with a couple of other organizations, and James is I don't know if you knew this or not, but you're looking at a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer right now.
Yeah!
From the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sent us a video. He made this video for you guys here, and then we've got something, a surprise that James wants to give. So take a look at the video. This is Andy from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
At the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm here with one of my favorite artifacts in our museum, James Burton's 1967 pink paisley Fender Telecaster that he played during his years performing and recording with Elvis Presley and many others.
Something that they wanted to do for the kids in Memphis. The James Burton Foundation, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, hungry for music in Graceland. We'd like to bring out from Stax Music Academy, Candace Lester, who is the Senior Development Officer with Soulsville Foundation.
So we have a beginner guitar program that introduces playing the guitar to new students, usually around 4th or 5th grade. And it's often the first time that they play an instrument. So these guitars, especially being able to get them for free when a lot of our students don't usually pay tuition, it means a lot. And like James has said over and over, music changes lives in really unique ways for every artist. So having guitars that are new and really high quality for kids to learn on, that they can take home and practice with and use to think and play. And music education is important in general because it develops the brain in ways that nothing else does. So when you teach a child to play music, you're not just teaching them how to play a wonderful song. You're using a universal language that opens doors in ways we can't see right now, but truly changes their lives. And I keep saying it over and over, but it's very true. Music is an instrument to just give kids a chance that may not have been there otherwise.
My wife had talked to Candace and put it together, but we're truly honored to do this with Stax and blessing from God. Thank you guys.
James and I will bring him over this afternoon. So, to talk to James, he's going to be over signing, and be sure to ask him about the James Burton Foundation. They're doing incredible things for kids everywhere. James Burton, thank you.
I want everybody to be sure to keep their mask and stay safe, be safe, okay? I've done all the TV shows, the whole show. Johnny Carson was one of my best friends. Jay Leno used to open for us with John Denver in Lake Tahoe. He was our opening act. And Jay and I became friends, and if you ever get to LA, you gotta go see his car collection. He's got a car collection that won't quit. And I just want to say that all these guys were my favorite hosts until Tom came along. Now, he's number one.